Have it ever happened with you that you have predicted something to your client and they said, yes, it happened, despite the fact that no matter how much your mind said that, this cannot happen, the person does not look like this. This is what prediction is, right? We don't do guesswork. In fact, many times it happens that you predict to the individual that this may have happened, and the person may disagree at that point of time, but later on comes to you with feedback that, sir, madam, it actually happened. I found it out. Say, recently it happened, a prediction related to someone's mother I made in a class, and the student denied in the class though. But later on, he agreed that, sir, yes, it had happened. I had asked my father, this was at a point of time, this was the case. All of these things are done with respect to the most important tool in Vedic astrology. If you will ask me what is the most revolutionary, most important principle that have came in light, which revolutionized complete astrology, it was house lordship of planets. It is told in the Shastras that it is very difficult to even take one step in predictive astrology without considering the house lords. We all know about house lords, though. Different planet who lord the different house is the house lord, right? As simple and as easy to be done. But when you talk of astrology, it's like yoga, right? You are analyzing planetary yogas and all in astrology, right? That's the basic point. How do you analyze it? Whenever we talk of Raj Yoga or good combinations, we are basically referring to house lordship based combinations only, right? That's the basic point. We are generally not referring to anything else. Raj Yogas are of many other types also. There are that type of Raj Yogas as well, which is not made by house lords. But nowadays, when you will use the word Raj Yoga, you or anyone will use the word Raj Yoga, they are generally referring to house lord based Raj Yogas only, right? Connection between ninth and 10th lord and all. This is so very powerful, right? It took complete astrology. It is so powerful a technique that now it is the umbrella of our astrology. Whenever we say Raja Yoga, you think of that it is Raja Yoga related to houses only. Such powerful is this technique. That's why it is told that it is very difficult to take even one step in astrology without house lordship. But Raja Yoga, as in many people know about Raja Yoga and Dhani Yoga. But do you also know about Kali Yoga, Presh Yoga, Then Yoga, and different type of yogas, right? These are the only few names that I am taking. So you see what happens, like in any analysis, you have to weight good and bad factors, and only after proper weightage you make prediction. Astrology also goes by the same way. You compare positives and negatives, and depending on whatever is more, you predict that. But this cannot be achieved if you don't know what all is there. So Dhani Yoga, Raj Yoga is good, but Presh Yoga, Khali Yoga, Deni Yoga, Duri Yoga, Vinash Yogas, if these yogas are not known, then how can one analyze the horoscope properly? One cannot. So, as we know, that in astrology it is very difficult to take even a single step without knowing about the house lords and related to house lords and the combinations that they make are many. And astrology students are supposed to remember it. But you know my teaching style, right? I don't focus or put, you see, focus on or tell the students to remember, right? Because it's a science of understanding, right? You know the tattva, you know the basis, you master a subject by understanding it, not by just memorizing it, right? That's the basic point. Anyone who tries to memorize astrology cannot do it, right? Because for each and every ascendant, multiple Raj Yogas, Duri Yogas, and all of that will be there. So you cannot memorize it all. And even if you can memorize it, you cannot use it at the time of prediction, right? You cannot sit with a notebook at the time of prediction and, for every question that the client will ask, you will look at the notebook and answer. This does not happen. But the problem and irony in astrology is that one is supposed to learn, because understanding is not taught, understanding is never given. Because of this particular reason, astrology looks like memorizing the scattered rules. But this is not the appropriate way to understand, right? The proper way of understanding, or what a guru is supposed to do, is to give you proper knowledge related to how these combinations are formed. And based on these combinations, one is able to apply the principles authoritatively. Not as in, so that thing that I told you in the beginning, that you make prediction despite all of your mind saying that it cannot be true, but you know astrology well, and you know that this must have happened, and you predict, and the client also agrees and affirms to it. This happens with understanding. This is not just a memory, right? And you see, like all the planets are not beneficial, right? The functional nature of the planet, how very important it is. A benefic planet can be malefic, a malefic planet can be benefic, all of that. And without clearly understanding it, one cannot predict with confidence. So keeping in mind that students understand this foundation of astrology well and are able to master house lordship of planets and how house lordship of planets interact with each other in horoscope, with a special focus on understanding how a horoscope functions and works. I have planned to do a 12 class course on all of these combinations, house lordship basically, by the name of Mastering the Lagna, that I will be doing from 10th of April, right? 10th of April, that will be a Friday. And all the classes will be on Fridays, right? So 12 classes on 12 Fridays, one class per week is the schedule we go with. Generally, the classes are from 8 p.m. Indian time onwards. It is 12 classes, and I teach every class almost 2.5, 3 hours. So it is around, right, 28, 29 hours of course it will be, right? And I'm saying it less only, it will be more than that. And this will cover each and every horoscope, each and every ascendant, separately, one by one. So a particular ascendant is focus of a class. All the combinations that can be there for that ascendant will be explained, and apart from that, in the class, many more principles related to how to understand house lordship, how to understand the interaction of planet will be there. The primary focus is understanding, not memorization, right? Because memorization is of no use. So we are going by each and every ascendant one by one. The course is going to be very valuable. In fact, I can say that this is backbone of astrology, and after the course, anyone will be able to predict well. If you ask me, right, what is that principle that is very essential in astrology that is to be learned, and after learning that, one can say that I know of astrology, it is this principle only. It's a very, very important course, I say, right? Because it clears the nature of functional benefics and malefics, how they behave, how planetary behavior changes as per the house lordship, how the interaction between planets create yogas and all, and how to decode horoscope and make predictions with confidence, with authority, with clarity. And all of these things will be done in my own teaching style that you well know and appreciate also. So the course is starting from 10th of April, and anyone interested in mastering astrology should absolutely join the course. Thank you.